I'm sure going through that, there was a lot of emotions about just how tight that game was. But what did I think what did that kind of tell you guys about the resiliency and the fight of this team?
Find a way to win. You never want to look past any opponent in this league. Guys are in this league for a reason. Indiana's a good team. They got a couple of injuries, but they're still a good team. And it just shows that we gotta do better. Putting together a 48-minute game instead of like picking and choosing when we decide to play well.
Chicago will be down Josh Giddey and Kobe White tonight. How are they different with those two guys off the floor?
Honestly, I don't think much really changes. I mean, those two guys are great scorers. Giddey kind of does a little bit of everything, but they still have that same style of play. Want to play fast, get out and run. I remember, I played for Billy for a couple months, and his thing was he just want to score fast. That was his biggest thing, getting across half court with 20 on the clock and then getting the best available shot as soon as possible. So I think we just got to do a great job of just getting back. That's going to be kind of the story of the game tonight.
You've gone against Vooch a number of times in this league. What are the challenges that big fella presents?
Vooch is one of the most solid players I played against. He's reliable in terms of, he does his job for whatever team he's playing for. It's always an honor just stepping on the court with a guy like that. And, I'm a competitor, so I love playing against guys like Vooch, and I'm just super excited to lace him up tonight.
For your group, what are some of the areas you want to work on and clean up and even learn from a win like you had against Indiana?
I think we just had to do a better job of not stalling out on the offensive end. We did a poor job of that, especially late game. Kind of everybody, including myself, just kind of standing and looking at the ball instead of creating a play for someone else or yourself. I think we just got to do a better job of, especially when the ball isn't going in and we're not getting clean looks, we got to do a better job of moving around the offensive end. And defensively, we just got to do a better job of getting back consistently and making teams play in the half court because that's where we're really good.
How important is it at times to keep the foot on the gas and maybe close out one of these a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing about it is that we had to do a better job of putting together a 48-minute game. We didn't do a great job of that in those last 3 games, but at the end of the day, the silver lining is that, you take a win. You take a win in this league. It's hard to win in this league consistently. Of course, we got guys out still trying to work back too. So, that's not an excuse, but, it's kind of the silver lining within it. Like, we can't take away from the fact that we won the game, but we do have to learn from it for sure.
How did you feel? And, what was it kind of like being back and helping your team get a win?
It's just great to be a part of the win. And that's the part I miss most. Obviously, I'm at the games I'm watching. I'm still involved, but, to be present, in the rotation and helping out the win, it just feels good, feels satisfying. Wasn't perfect, finding my way into the flow, into the rhythm. But, again, I'm not thinking too heavy on it. I was happy with my approach. I was happy with my intentions. It's just about sharpening everything up. So I felt good to be on the court.
What were some of the takeaways that you guys can use from that game? Because it was a close one, very tight one, that you want to use moving forward going into tonight's game.
Finding ways to win. We obviously didn't shoot it very well, and that always makes it tough, to go out and beat a team. But when you can defend like that, I think we're very intentional about getting into the paint and getting buckets there and finishing when we got there. I think that really looked out for us, and then, like I said, down the stretch, third quarter and then all of the fourth, I thought we were really locked in defensively in our coverages and limiting them to one shot and cleaning up the glass and going to finish the game on that end of the ball. So I thought, we find a way to win. We'll shoot it better, on other nights, but, as long as you find a way to come out on top at the end of the night, that's what matters.
They'll be down Giddey and Kobe White. What's different about them without those two guys, and what remains the same?
Without them, Trey gets a lot more usage, and he's getting able to play some good basketball. So really looking to come in and be intentional about, what he's doing and how he's running the team. But outside of that, there's still a lot of good talent in his basketball team, from Matas, Jay Smith, Vooch. Every time we play Ayo, he has a good night. So, there's a lot of different guys that we have to stay keen on. But, knowing that those guys are out, just staying locked in with who we are and what we're doing in our process, regardless of who steps on the floor. And like I said, coming out to get a win. You know, they're still NBA players all up and down the roster, so we got to come compete and finish the night off.
You're a bit of a vibes guy. You closed out 2025 in the right fashion. How important would it be to open 2026 in the right fashion?
Start the year off right and enter the year off right is always great. So absolutely looking to get a win. But like I said, just more importantly, it's our process and where we're going. You know, so are we improving from last game and the things that we talked about, you know, as players from then to tonight? You know, and then do we come out with intensity, you know, and some energy to go get a game, you know, not just get through the game. So looking forward to tonight. Fun every time we play in Chicago, so 7 o'clock will be a good time.